Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Today is Pick for Friday. I'm excited to be here with you today to show you a card using 4 items. Oh, and a lot of other new product also. So let's get started today. I'm going to make a card using these 4 items. The first item I'm going to use is a VersaMark pad. Okay, so the VersaMark pad can be used for embossing. And then I'm going to couple it with a regular classic pad. I'm going to use soft suede. That's my first item. And then I'm going to emboss it with clear embossing powder. And so that's going to make it nice and glossy. The third item I'm going to use is a Wink of Stella pen. So this is a glitter pen. It's got a nice little brush tip. Okay, so you want to shake it before you use it. And the last item I'm going to use is a fine tip glue. This glue is so nice, but a lot of people don't like it because they feel like they can't get the little stopper in. It's amazing glue, and it dries in a nice glossy finish. So that's how we're going to use it today. So let's get started and make our card. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this VersaMark pad with my soft suede. I'm going to use it on the Stack Stone new cling background stamp. I am buying all of these in cling now rather than wood. I leave them in the case just like this, and I use them from there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to VersaMark this up. I don't need to VersaMark the whole thing. I just need to VersaMark part of it because my piece of cardstock is not completely going to cover it. It's just a piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to ink up the center with my VersaMark pad. Then I'm going to come back with my soft suede classic pad, and I'm just going to ink this up on top of the VersaMark. And a lot of people are like, oh, Trevis, I don't know. That kind of makes me nervous because what if that VersaMark gets into my pad? Well, it won't. That VersaMark is very sticky. It won't get into your pad. It won't hurt your pad at all. You do it that way. Don't do it the opposite, but you can do VersaMark first and then the classic pad. Then I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock, and this is a little over 2 inches by 4 1/4. I'm just going to lay that down, and I'm going to give it a good rub. Now you might get, as you get close to the edges, you might get a little ink on your finger. Don't panic. You do need to give that a nice, solid rub. And my bracelet is clicking against the plastic case. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to do that all around. Okay, get the whole thing inked up. And then take it loose. Perfect. Okay, this is where your chamois comes in handy. The chamois is perfect for cleaning the stamp while it's in its case. So you just want to take your chamois and clean all that ink and VersaMark off of your stamp. Okay, there you go. That's where your chamois is really awesome. Okay, then the next step is, while this is still wet, a little bit sticky, you want to take your clear embossing powder, and I have mine in a little tub. They come in a little pot. I have mine in a little tub. Makes it a little easier to use when you use it a lot. And you're going to take your cardstock, have a little spoon in here, and just put that powder right on top. It's going to stick to the VersaMark, just like this. Okay, and then you want to thump off the back. That will get rid of the excess. Put the lid back on right away so it doesn't blow around. And now we're going to use our heat gun. So if you emboss, you are going to need a heat gun. These get very hot, so you need to be careful with it, not to burn yourself. So it's going to be a little bit loud, but you'll see what it does. Hold on. So what happens is when you heat it like that, oops, sorry. When you heat it like that, it's going to make that glossy brown from the soft suede just pop. Okay, so you want to let it cool for a second, and then it's, oh, so nice. It's textured, and I love it. It actually looks like stacked stone. Okay, now what we want to do next is we're going to attach that to a little piece of soft suede cardstock. So we've been using Stamp and Seal, right, since the new catalog came out, and we've had some issues with it. I already had people telling me that, oh, it doesn't work as well as snail, and I think I like it a lot because it really sticks, but there is a little bit of a learning curve to this. So let's just talk about it. Normally with snail, you would pull, and then you would do a check mark. Well, with Stamp and Seal, you don't want to do a check mark. You want to raise it up like this and just lift, okay? And if you do that, it will break. Sometimes you have to advance it a little bit. It will break. I know, there's a little issue. I even have issues sometimes. It will actually break the adhesive rather than make it string back and go back into the case. I don't know. It is a little different, and we definitely are in the learning curve part of it. Okay, so now we have that with a little edge. Now I'm going to use a piece of Bumblebee cardstock, and this is 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to fold it in half because this is the way we want our card to open. Okay, and I'm going to attach this. See how much better that works? Attach that right here. Okay. And the next thing I want to do is do a little stamping. So I'm going to use the Jar of Flowers stamp set. This is a bundle that comes with the jar punch. So you get the 4 flowers, the small jar, the large jar, the stems, you get it all. Okay, this is a photopolymer set. And I'm going to use this flower stamp. I'm going to stamp this in Memento ink. Now, as I said, the bundle includes the jar. It does not include any framelits. So that means we get to do a little fussy cutting. I actually love fussy cutting, and I did that ahead of time. Okay, now I'm going to use my blend markers. And the ones that I've selected today, I've selected Calypso Coral, Mango Melody, and I actually selected this brown. It's actually the bronze, and then the light Old Olive for the leaves. Okay, so I am going to start coloring, and with this one I'm going to color the big flower first. So I'm going to use the side of the blend, right? And I'm going to do nice soft petals. Just use the side of your blend. Don't use the tip. It'll feather the tip, and it will ruin the tip before the marker is empty. And you will not like it, how it ruins the marker. Okay, so I go light, dark, light. So now I'm going to use the light, the dark. Do a little center coloring here. I'm going to do a little shading. And then I'm going to come back with the light again, and I'm going to blend. Now I'm going to pull that dark into the light. Okay, so this is actually taking away some of that definition from light to dark and dark to light and pulling it to blend them. That's where the name came from, blends. If you just like to use markers, we have markers. But I love the blends. Now I'm going to use Mango Melody. The reason is because Mango Melody, believe it or not, we don't have a Bumblebee blend, but we do have Mango Melody, and it is actually the closest color to the blends. I found this out over time by using the different yellows. So to me, it's the closest that we have. And I think it looks really good once you get it laid down. Again, I'm going on the side. Can you see I'm using the side of the blend? And I'm coloring. And then I'm coming back. I prefer to use the brush tip. Some people like to use the other tip, and that's fine. It's actually a little more substantial than the brush tip. Probably lasts a little longer. And then we'll come back again with the light and just do that blending again. Pulling that color together. Okay, then I think I'm going to use this brown, the bronze. I'm going to color these. I don't know a whole lot about flowers, to be honest. So I don't really know what these flowers are supposed to be. I don't think those are supposed to be berries. I hope not. I'm making them brown. These kind of look like eucalyptus, but eucalyptus would be green, right? Not brown. Okay. And then I'm going to use the old olive, and I'm just going to use one color. I'm just going to color the leaves. I'm going to do that real simply. I think I'm going to come back and do these in dark. This is the dark Calypso Coral. I want these just to stand out a little more, so I'm just going to do these in the dark. Okay. I like it finished with those blends. Okay, now I'm going to use the jar, and I'm going to use some cardstock, some of our new designer series paper, and this is the Playing with Patterns 6x6 designer series paper pad. And I'm going to punch out one of the jars. I'm just going to punch one right here. So this pairs well with the colors that I chose. Like that. I think it does need a little sparkle. So I think I'm going to use this is where I'm going to use my Wink of Stella. And I'm just going to go along with these lines that are in here. And I'm just going to go back and forth. Giving a little squeeze and a little shake. You do want to shake this because it does have glitter in there. And you want to make sure that the glitter is mixed with the clear gel that's in there. Okay, so there we used item number 3, which was Wink of Stella. Now it's time to attach this to our card. So I'm going to go ahead and use my adhesive. I think I'll put that. I'm not going to center that. I'm going to put it just up a little bit. I'm going to put a few dimensionals on the back here. If you get that on the back of your cardstock, then you know you've done it properly, because that's what you want. You actually want that alcohol ink to bleed through the cardstock. I know it sounds strange, but that's what you want. I'm going to attach that right there. Okay, and now I'm going to use this, and this is my fine tip glue, and I'm just lightly going to add a little bit of this to my flowers. And the reason that I'm doing this is because when it dries, it's going to make the nicest glossy flowers. Okay. You don't want to use too much, just enough to cover, and then spread it like that. I'm just going to do these 3 flowers. I'm not going to go and do the other ones. I'm just going to do these. Yes. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, and then you want to make sure that you put that little pin back into the nozzle. I can see it. It's very fine. And make sure you tighten it nice and tight. Okay, and then 2 last things I want to do. One is I want to stamp a happy birthday. And the happy birthday that I chose is from the new Blossoms in Bloom set. Happy birthday. I'm going to stamp that in Memento Black. Memento Black. Do I want to use black or do I want to use brown? I think I'm going to use the brown, actually. I'm going to use soft suede. I'm going to stamp that on a little piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to do the little fishtail on one end. We're just going to adhere it with some adhesive. See how much better the adhesive's working now? It just seems so much better. Attach that. Trim that off. And then I have a little bow. And I made the bow out of the braided linen trim. So I did it off camera, right? Because it's easier for me. And I'm going to attach this with a mini glue dot. Oops, I got attached. And I'm just going to add that to my, right there. Okay, so there's our card today. I use those 4 items for Pick 4 Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye.